This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map Smashed Dustbowl. As the red Steel Talons in the north, it is BikeRush owns. And in the south, as that was just an oddly placed power plant, as the pink Scrin, it is Tiberium Wars Shock Treatment. And I say Tiberium Wars Shock Treatment because that's right, he is in Kane's Wrath right now. He is playing this match on Smashed Dustbowl. And of course, if you watch any amount of Tiberium Wars, you've probably heard of Shock Treatment. I mean, he is primarily a Tib Wars player, which means he's quite good. Well, actually, it just means he's good because he's good. He's not good inherently because he plays Tib Wars, but he is a good player. And this is Smashed Dustbowl, which means that it is, you know, a smashed variant of a Dust Bowl. I'm not sure that it actually plays very much differently than Tournament Dust Bowl. I mean, in my games it doesn't, but that's a pretty terrible metric to use, because I'm terrible. So, oh, snipes the engineer. A nice move there. A nice move indeed. One thing that I do like is there's no more... Well, no. There's less. There is less spike poker. I really do like that about the variant. But there is still a little bit. I mean, if you go shadow teams, then you can, in some cases, grab both spikes. But, I mean, it's just less spike poker in general, which I do like. Other than that, you may have noticed not a lot of videos lately. I have been busy. I almost said sick. I was sick, but that didn't really stop me. I was busy is what I was, and I also did have computer troubles, so it's been a combination. We do have two refineries going down, so standard schmandard coming out from both players, not like super early aggression for a delayed refinery, and it is going to be MCV move before that second power plant, whereas it is going to be second power plant before the MCV move. Will that actually make a difference in this game? Probably not. Of course, heavy harvesters are going to be out on the field for BikeRush own, since he is indeed Steel Talons. And yeah, so he didn't get that spike. He lost the engineer. That's 500 credits down the drain. Shock Treatment is going to be feeling very, very good about that. Power plant should be getting thrown down by BikeRush owns. And there is going to be the extra harvester coming out for Shock Treatment. So he's sitting at that 5 and 2, a good ratio. Could be going for a 6th harvester to go ahead and transfer over to this field relatively quickly. And then once he throws down that refinery as well, that'll give him a nice couple of harvesters. He's actually going to be going for that spike. He may very well get it, but I cannot imagine the BikeRush owns is going to let that stand for very long. I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't gone for it already, as we could be seeing some MRTs just to go ahead and hold that engineer, keep him safe, and transfer him down to that spike. No aggression coming out from either player. They're going to be playing macro style, and we do have those 5 harvesters. Ooh, BikeRush, if he actually spots that, he may be able to send that harvester over to that other refinery. Unfortunately, he does not. Minor annoyance there. Again, probably not a big enough deal to actually make up the game. But Nerve Center does go down, which means we've got Tier 2, potentially Tier 3 on the way. No, we should be seeing a refinery get deployed relatively soon here. He may be going for just lots of units right out of the gate, and we do have that blue Tiberium getting completely cleaned up. It looks like it almost starts with about by 3 to 4 minutes, it's got about 1 harvester worth of Tiberium in there. Steel Talons means Titans, but of course Seeker Tanks are going to be pretty powerful in these numbers. And repair drones as well, so that's why there's no refinery. He needs that cash for the lightning spike for those repair drones, and that is definitely going to be suiting him very well. And I mean, even better than MRTs. Well, actually, it's kind of better, kind of not. Anyways, we do have these harvesters going to be getting forced to micro, and BikeRush owns, I mean, he doesn't want to be wasting his time doing that. Optimally, he would like to be controlling other things more fun than just controlling harvesters to keep them alive. He's going to be taking a little bit of a chance here. He could end up losing that harvester, but no, he does protect it fairly well with those Titans, and these two players just microing back and forth, pulling units around war factories back to the repair drones. And we'll have to see if Shock Treatment actually pulls back the weakened Seekers. He could have actually saved that Seeker and potentially done a bit more damage. He might actually get a nice surround on this Titan here, but there's 3 Titans out on the field, and rather just 2, since 1 did go down. But there's 2 Titans out on the field, and nice moves here by BikeRush owns. Will actually get a crush there. I couldn't actually remember if Titans can crush Seeker Tanks. It looks like they can indeed. 3 Titans going to be driving this back. Refinery is down, so it is kind of a delayed refinery on the expansion, but you can see that's why he didn't go for a 6th harvester. That's why he didn't go for that refinery right away. He was saving that money. He did get the Tib spike though, and we're still pumping out lots of Seeker Tanks. So more Seeker Tanks are just going to be being produced out of that War Factory. Eventually, it'll be a 6th Harvester to go ahead and transfer. Although, wait, am I tripping? Does he have a Harvester on the blue? Yeah, okay, there's the 5th Harvester. I was like, I thought for sure he had 5 earlier. Titans, more of them are going to be going down. And, I mean, Titan's not exactly free or cheap, but he's trading them for quite a few Seeker Tanks. So I'm not sure if it's a completely even trade. Watchtower does get thrown down. AP ammo has begun, and this Tib silo could get sold off. Unfortunately, he won't get a infantry unit, a rifleman squad for it, but he will get a little bit of cash back for it, just a teeny tiny bit. What is it, 50 or 100 credits or something that you get cash back, just hardly anything at all. A couple of rocket troopers going to be coming out, extra power plants as well. Some of them could be advanced. Oh, the Tiberium Hive. I actually didn't remember what that was called. No, I must have seen that before in matches, but that is such an uncommon thing to actually see because it's not really very useful. Another Titan does go down, so these Seeker Tanks may actually be paying for themselves if they can start sniping Harvesters, but for right now, they're not exactly the most cost-effective units in this game. And of course, we could be seeing, oh no, that Harvester actually does get pulled. Nice control there by BikeRush. He is actually just going to be starting to shred these. Oh, the Seeker Tanks are going to be getting, oh my gosh, BikeRush didn't actually, he lost one single rocket trooper in about 5 seconds. Nice splits there from BikeRush, and the Watchtowers, he's got 3 of them out on the field. AP ammo almost done. He's just almost so close to getting it finished, but he's out of cash, and that Pitbull will get taken out. So some nice control from both players, but Shock Treatment has been the one with the aggression. Is he going to be starting that Shard Launcher's upgrade? We'll have to see if he actually goes for it. I'm kind of surprised with this many Seeker Tanks, he did not go for Attenuated Force Field. That is a Tier 2 upgrade, and he did not get it. That's actually quite surprising indeed. Tech Center does go down. Railguns may be beginning relatively soon here, or we could just be seeing the straight to Marv Tech of BikeRush owns. Will he be going for that? No, he goes for another War Factory, so he's most likely going to be going for lots of Titans, although we could be seeing some Mammoth Tanks come out from him. It would help him deal with any Storm Rider transition, which may be happening. No, the MCV is on the move. We do not have any gravity stabilizers, so no Storm Riders going to be coming out from Shock Treatment, and also we do have the Stasis Chamber thrown down for Shock Treatment, so he's going to be able to throw down that Stasis Shield to go ahead and lock things down. Mechapedes out on the field. And I mean, Titans can deal with Mechapedes relatively well, but we'll have to see if the focus firing is going to be good enough. Looks like it is mostly just the Shard Launchers inside of those Mechapedes. And BikeRush is moving out, but okay, those are Rifleman squads. So for a second, I thought he was moving out with his units just way spread out across the map, but he is indeed going to be going for just a little bit of scouting with those Rocket Troopers or with those Rifleman squads. And without, let's see, we do have Railguns on the way, and we may also be seeing Adaptive Armor. And then, of course, with that Railgun Accelerator upgrade, we could be seeing some absolutely insane DPS. Railgun accelerators, and then you also activate Adaptive Armor, which increases armor and makes them immune to EMP, but it does reduces the damage, and then basically Railgun Accelerators, I believe, trades basically health for additional damage. Or for additional rate of fire, I should say, not so much damage. But, so you shoot faster. Wow, that was a fast ion cannon. I did not see that coming. Is that before the 10-minute mark? I think it is indeed. Huh. That is not something you see very often at all, as we do have this Mammoth Tank going to be rolling in on here, but he doesn't have any upgrades. He may be getting Railguns relatively soon here, and I should have probably seen that a little bit earlier. But Mechapedes in the north, the refinery is down for Shock Treatment. He hasn't quite cleared up his natural expansion just yet. The Engineer will eventually pop out. Will the Lightning Spike actually get the kill on that engine? No, it does not. And BikeRush actually packs up that MCV maybe a little bit too early, but it is safe to go ahead and move out there. Fortunately, fortunately for BikeRush, there's no Storm Riders or anything to kind of come in here and try to sweep things down. And that ion cannon in low power for a little bit there. Mechapede's going to be coming in. One gets sniped down immediately. Railgun's definitely going to be helping out with that. And Tripod's also out on the field. So nice moves there by Shock Treatment, and nice moves being that he actually purchased the upgrade, which, what is it called for? Force Field Generators. Yeah, it's Attenuated Force Fields for the lower tier units, and then Force Field Generators for the higher tier units. And there's going to be that Tib Spike recapture, but I mean, we're like past the 10-minute mark, or just about, in this game. Did he actually... Oh, let's try not to punch the microphone. Okay, I didn't actually see the Engineer there, and then I went to see if the Engineer was there, and I punched my microphone instead, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but it didn't actually turn out to be a good idea. it almost looked like he forgot to get the engineer, and he just sold off a bit too early. Looks like adaptive armor is not going to be researched for BikeRush owns, which means we could be seeing some sick EMPs. One EMP does fire off, lands on the mammoth tank, no trouble there. And Hammerheads are out on the field. They do have that AP ammo, of course, and actually a couple of rifleman squads inside of there as well. At least one rifleman squad, which is just a little bit of extra DPS. And railgun accelerators could have been activated. I'm not entirely sure, but those tripods are tearing apart those mammoth tanks. A couple of seeker tanks going to be coming in here. The airfield did get sold off, which means Orca Strike could be out on the field. Some are going to be coming in. Hammerhead's going to be helping to finish off some of these tripods. And the tripods are slowly but surely getting whittled away. Some nice snipes on the mechapedes, rather. This one over here. And more EMPs will be firing off. And this guy over here doesn't. He does actually get EMP, just barely, though, before taking out that tripod. And, of course, the advantage for BikeRush owns is going to be in the amount of tripod husks that are just outside of his front door. This should be pretty much priority number one after doing the damage, is cleaning up those husks, because here comes the engineer, gets sniped down by those buzzer squads, and one of the husks does go down, and the other two or three should be going down, actually four, should be going down relatively quickly here. One of them will most likely be getting grabbed. Nice moves there by Shock Treatment, going to be focus firing it, and he doesn't quite get the engineer. He got pretty darn close, but he may have an additional gunwalker to go ahead and kill off that engineer. And going for those husks is exactly what you want, although he is going to be trading more avatars for it, or not avatars, but rather Annihilator tripods. I hope I haven't been saying that, because I actually do know the difference, but I just pretend that I don't know the difference. 2 husks do remain as a result, instead of, what was that, like 7 tripods? 7 tripods to remain. Oh, BikeRush should get those harvesters back to work. He did pull them off the line just to protect them for a little bit, but he does get them back to work, which is exactly what he wants. And this game picking up pretty early on. I mean, there was action almost from the get-go. We saw kind of a macro-style opener. The scan does go down, reveals a lot of gunwalkers. Oh! Shock Treatment. You got screwed by Sage. Just absolutely there. And unfortunately, that's one of those things that's just like, sometimes I feel like it's not worth it to try to control well. And, alright, giving away a veteran, or rather a heroic missile squad there. One more shot does finish it off there. A couple more blasts from that gunwalker, annihilating him. BikeRush owns. He's got that ion cannon control. I almost said EMP control center, but that is not on this map. And I feel like, yeah, taking out that EMP control center pretty much changed like 0 games ever. Wait a second. I'm thinking of the 2v2 version of the map. Never mind. As we could see a Smash version of that as well. I'm not actually sure if there is one in the 2v2 maps included. But yeah. At any rate, both of these players kind of calming down a little bit here, and it's back to Titans. So Mammoth Tank's not working out for, as I said, that there's another Mammoth Tank right there, but a lot of Titans out on the field. They're a fair bit cheaper, and I mean, they do have pretty good DPS, but they are getting eliminated pretty darn quickly by those tripods, just getting absolutely smashed here, one after the other. 3 go down, and 1 tripod does go down. We do now have 2 elite Titans. The EMPs, will they be good enough? He locks down that Mammoth Tank. Good control there by Shock Treatment. That's exactly what you want to be seeing. And there's going to be, I'm assuming, Shockwave Artillery. Yes, it does fire off. The shells are bad hits thus far. And, I mean, there is a degree of... Oh, my gosh, that RNG screwing over BikeRush owns. And he does have a fully heroic Titan, so he's okay in my book, as a lot of gunwalkers going to be coming in here. And, again, no attenuated force fields for them at this point. But Annihilator Tripod's trying to get the kill on that Titan, but will they actually do it? There's a couple more Titans going to be moving in, and 1 Annihilator Tripod for BikeRush owns as well. He's reinforcing. No, he's not. He's not reinforcing. He's being kind of assaulted from the rear there by Shock Treatment. He is going to be cleaning up that tripod of BikeRush owns, and Shock Treatment wants to clear up some of these husks, but he may end up just losing an additional Annihilator Tripod. Is this going to be how BikeRush makes a comeback? Because right now he doesn't have a hugely strong army, but with these tripods, he could be making a comeback and just winning the game. Is this actually 5, 6? Oh my gosh, is there actually 7 husks in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think so, and it is going to be more tripods going to be coming in. So BikeRush owns, if he gets those 7 husks, he will be in fantastic shape. But he is actually going to be sniping at them himself, trying to deny the engineer of Shock Treatment from doing that. And so both of these players warring over the husks, and I'm actually kind of surprised that we're seeing the war happen over here, as Shock Treatment is going to be pushing forward with the MCV. Some storm columns could be going down, but most likely they will not, as there's 2 engineers here, but 3, well, there goes the storm column. as 3 engineers are right on the front line, which means if they go down, that's going to be quite annoying for shock treatment. And the Annihilator Tripod, well, there's only 2 engineers to go down now. He might actually be able to grab the husk again, but there is a couple of rifleman squads quite nearby. Snipes down the engineer, snipes down that Annihilator Tripod husk. 4 Annihilator Tripods, 4 BikeRush owns. Will he get the crush on that Annihilator Tripod husk? No, he does not. So good on BikeRush for that. Needs to go ahead and get an additional engineer out. And there goes the Storm column. Of course, the Ion Storm does stay around for a little bit longer. And now Shock Treatment is the one who doesn't have much of a standing army. Sells off the MCV, but will that actually be enough cash for him to stop this army that's coming in here? He may actually need to go ahead and charge up these tripods. Of course, since he's Reaper, he doesn't have conversion reserves. Since he's not Reaper, I should say, he doesn't have conversion reserves. But he is going to be potentially charging up to go ahead and get that laser that does a bit more damage. No, wait a second. I'm completely bad at this. For a second, I was thinking, yeah, I'm just completely tripping. I thought that, I was thinking for some reason the bind with buzzers was the charge with Tiberium. Reaper. Not actually Annihilator Tripods. Anyways, Megapede going to be heading out across the map. Will be able to snipe down that Rifleman squad, but he does reveal his presence, and also that he is northern bound. And taking out 2 refineries, is it going to happen? It should get both of them. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty darn close. Nope. Pretty darn close is going to be the answer. And that was a nice ion cannon blast. Didn't take out a huge amount, and I mean, considering it cost $5,000, you just took out like 3,800 credits worth of stuff. Not quite enough to really be worth it, but it's going to be pretty darn close. And BikeRush owns, if you can really snipe down an army, that's where super weapons start becoming really cost effective. Lots of tripods coming out for shock treatment. He's got a couple of mechapeds, and orcas are out on the field. Can BikeRush? It looks like he is going to be hitting majority of the head of that mechapede. Majority of the rockets are going to be smashing into the head of that mechapede. One more rocket will finish it off. Nice control there by BikeRush. Is going to be able to go ahead and finish off one of the mechapedes. The other one will go down as well. Snipes down the harvester, which was nice for shock treatment, but it does lose both of those mechapedes, which is quite a substantial investment. I mean, 2 mechapedes with that many segments is quite a lot of stuff. Juggernauts, or rather behemoths, since he is Seal Talons, getting mixed in. And lots of tripods. So it is going to be a war of the concave, but really, if these Juggernauts have their way, they'll just fire so many rounds. They'll get so much damage off on these tripods. It's going to be absolutely sick. Mammoth tanks rolling up to the front lines, and it's going to be coming down to the concave. A bad start here for shock treatment. He wants all of his stuff firing at once, if at all possible. This is a screenshot for the game. Orca's coming in from the rear. Nice moves here by BikeRush, and again, the artillery in the back just absolutely smashing into so much of the stuff on the front line. BikeRush owns smashing through the front door. BikeRush owns will win this game. Shock treatment has been defeated. GG gets called. That engagement just so far in the favor of BikeRush. It was absolutely crazy. And shock treatment almost ahead for that entire game, it felt like. He was the one putting on the aggression, and I'm not sure if it paid off in the early game, but it certainly didn't pay off in the late game. As you can see, shock treatment ahead economically for the entire time. What was the difference? Well, let's actually click on the total difference, not just the difference per minute, but a total of about 30,000 credits, or so about 23,000, I guess, is a little bit more accurate. 17 minutes. That's a fair amount of difference, but Annihilator Tripod and Rifleman squads for BikeRush owns, so not something you'd expect to see the losing player be or Annihilator Tripod versus the Rifleman squads, but shock treatment going to be getting destroyed there by BikeRush owns, and it all came down to that last engagement there. Shock treatment, he kind of funneled to some degree his tripods in there. He wasn't necessarily focus firing as well as he could. He didn't have the concave that he needed, and of course he had no way to deal with those Juggernauts, and then you add in the Orcas. It's insult to injury, and that was a pretty nice match. Smashed Dustbowl, everybody, is going to be that map. Once again, one of those newer maps from Predator, and I would definitely say it's a nice variant of Tournament Dustbowl. Quite enjoy that indeed. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And this is Sybert signing out.